Right, for this example, we'll be going through some abilities. I won't be going absolutely in depth for the abilities, because I said this is only going to be a primer. I'm just going to tell you what you need to go through 99% of the games. If you wanted an absolute complete guide to all abilities, how they activate, what ability activates when, then it's all in the rulebook. But for almost all situations, what I'm about to tell you will get you through most games. So, first of all, there's abilities and there is effects. The only difference is effects are caused by non-battle cards and abilities are caused by battle cards. You don't have to worry too much about that, but it can count for some of the cards. So this game has a stack system, quite a common system used primarily in things like Magic, so if you're familiar with that, then you'll be familiar with this. Again, not going to go too in depth on this. You can read off about this either in the rulebook or in Magic. So it's very similar, but simply the stack system is used primarily for effects, so non-battle cards. So let's say it's the target phase. I get RWBY to play, I'm the RWBY player, and I play Fluster, which can only be played in the target phase. So it's got the target symbol. So I play that face up. My opponent, seeing that, decides to play a semblance card. Again, target symbol, so they can play it in the target phase, no problem. So before my card resolves, everything you do is checked. So I put my card down, I check do they want to do anything about that. They do. In this instance, they want to play this. Seeing that, again, there's a check. Does anyone else want to do anything? Yes, I do, as a RWBY player. This has no symbol here, so this can be played potentially whenever. And it says, play in response to an opponent playing a non-battle card. That card does not resolve and is placed in its owner's exhausted pile, so that will go there. And now I check again, is everyone happy? And that would be it, because say the wise player didn't want to play anymore or could not play anymore. So then we go from the top of the stack. The first one is the confidence one, the very last card I played, the one that negates a card, a non-battle card. So I'm targeting the area one, the semblance card my opponent played. That would then negate that one. So my confidence resolves. It goes to my exhausted pile. Face it, remember. Area does not resolve, and it's also a semblance card. Remember, you can only attempt to play one semblance card a turn. So I know this turn that the wise player will not be able to play another semblance card, and this does not activate because of the ability, the effect, of my confidence non-battle card. And then the first card I played would activate and affect the wise player. That's a very simple explanation of how the stack system works. It's not like Snap, where you'll play your card and the first one to put it down goes off first. It's everyone gets a chance to respond to what you play. Abilities do go into the stack system, but because of how they are played, they don't quite work out the same. But again, in 99% of the games, that's not going to matter. If you want a very detailed explanation, check the rulebook. There are symbols on these cards. There's, see, trying to focus this in a bit more. Better. Right, this little crystal shape, that means dust. and you can tell that because it'll be the same as the one on my statistics card. So if we look down here, you'll see some different colours. This is purely cosmetic. It makes no difference on activating abilities of cards. So say on this card, for instance, there is a white dust here. That does not mean you can only activate it with a white dust, this one. You can actually use any dust. As long as you have one dust, regardless of its colour, it does not matter. These are just for flavour and to make it stand out better than some of the cards. So the colour of these symbols does not matter at all, only what the symbol is. So let's go over what some of these symbols mean. The eye symbol, that means on reveal. So remember, there's two ways. When you play a battle card, it's played face down, which is hidden. Reveal, let's focus back a little bit, that's hidden. Reveal is when it's turned face up. So if the card had a reveal symbol, like this one here, it says on reveal, picture the eye, that is when you can play that ability. And because you reveal cards at the same time, your opponent can play their ability at exactly the same time. Right. When a card is revealed, it does not enter the tick line immediately. You hide it, it is hidden, you reveal it, and then, after everything's gone through, then it would enter where it has to go on the tick line. And just as there is with a excuse me a second. Just as there is symbols for on reveal, there are symbols for hidden. Focus this again. See that little closed eye? That means you activate. If you're going to activate that ability, you activate it when the card is hidden. So when you and your opponent have placed their cards face down, then you check if you both you want to activate a hidden ability, and you do it then. And there's this little star symbol here. This will be usually have a number inside it. In this case it's an X, and the text will tell you what X is. Type on that one. That's your spirit. So you can actually use spirit to grant that effect, that ability there. So in this particular instance, it's hidden. You have to activate the ability when it's hidden, and you have to pay X, which is, in this case, you get to choose, and it gives you that ability there. Just as Weiss has dust, Weiss and Blake have dust, Ruby and Young have bullets, which are shown by these bullet shaped symbols here. Let's refocus that. Right, there are 3 types of abilities. There are inherent abilities. These are usually caused by common abilities. They're just on the card. That'll give them an ability. So this one's an inherent ability. There's no activation cost. There's no ifs or whens it just says throw, which means the card has throw. There are conditional abilities. These say on, when, if, but, something like that. And when that condition is met, or if that condition is met, then the ability will activate. So on this one, it's on reveal, add X to this attack's power value, where X is equal to the amount of unbroken cards on your tick line. If none of your cards are broken, this attack is also unblockable. Okay. And finally, there are activated abilities. And just the name says, you choose to activate these or not. Unlike conditional ones, which always come about if the condition is met, or the inherent ones, which are always on the card, the activated ones, you can choose to activate it. So, example is RWBY shift card. On reveal, I can pay 1 bullet, and I can pick a number between 1 and 5, and I can change this card's tick value to the number chosen. Okay. One thing to note about the activated abilities is, if you can only activate an ability once. So for instance, we have this card Freestar, which is costs 3 spirit to activate. It's a 1 tick value, 1 power value dedicated attack card by RWBY. Costs 3 spirit to activate, and since there is no closed eye and there is no open eye, I can activate this ability as soon as it enters the tick line, or when it resolves on the tick line, or when any card resolves on the tick line, to say. So I can activate that ability as soon as I put it on, or I can wait till the next card resolves for me to activate that ability. And since this card says free spirit, it's activated ability, add 2 power to this attack for every card more the opponent has in their hand than you. If you have 0 cards in hand, it also gains the unblockable ability. I could not activate that more than once. I couldn't say pay 3 spirit to activate it and then pay another 3 spirit either on the same resolving of a card or a different resolving, so I couldn't place it on the tick line and pay the ability. Then when the card resolves, I could pay it again. That doesn't work like that. You can only activate abilities once. They never activate more than once. And remember, with broken cards, if I had activated that card and the white player broke it, that ability would be lost along with everything else on the card. So I'll just go over a few of the common abilities. Most cards have special abilities, which is dictated by the cards themselves. If you don't understand the terms of any of the words on here, then the rulebook has a dedicated glossary page explaining all of what these terms are. So if you're unfamiliar with any of them, check out the glossary and it'll all be apparent. One of the most common abilities, there's 4 common abilities. There is Guard Crush, which I've gone over already, which just gives your card top priority when it is clashed against another attack. There is Throw, which is the other common ability. And what Throw does is it automatically breaks the first defense card it comes against. So let's say I, as the RWBY player, play a 2 tick value card, attack card, with power rating 3, face down. the wise player decides to play a defense card. Tick rating 3, resistance rating 4. So we reveal. No one's got any abilities they wish to activate on these cards. So mine goes in tick value 2. Theirs will go in tick value 3. My damage will go over. Usually 3 hitting the 4, this would be left with a 1. But because my card has the throw ability, it would actually automatically break this card and the damage would go up and hit the wise player. If they had another card there, say, then what would happen is this, it's another defense card in this case, it will go up, break that card, and it hits the other defense. The throw does not automatically break another card, it can only break one defense card. In effect, it loses the throw, the effects of the throw. So it hits it there, but it's still got the damage, so it breaks it without doing any damage to it, so there'll be no overflow. Here it hits the 1, so 3 hitting the 1, that would be broken, and the wise player would suffer 2 overflow damage. Throws do not automatically break attacks. So if the wise player had that, my attack would hit their attack, but that would be broken, but not through the throw, through the damage. So that damage would not hit the wise player, it would be stopped just as if, because it just hit an attack. Throws also work in the opposite space, so whichever the first defense card the throw hits, that's the one it automatically breaks. The downside of throws is, of course, as I went through before, is that they lose against an attack in the opposite space. They gain bottom priority. There's 2 more some common abilities that are slightly less common. One of these is armour. This will always have a number after it. So here we have armour 1. Pay 1 dust, this gains armour 1. So let's say both those cards are revealed again. I've got my throw card, and the wise player has paid a tick value 3 card, the power rating of 4. That has she has the chance to activate the ability, which she does. Plays 1 dust. So now it has armour 1. And what armour does is it will negate that many hits. So if it has armour 3, it will negate 3 hits before it can become broken. So in this instance, that gains armour 1. Mine goes off first. 2, nothing. 3, yes, hits an attack. Usually it will break the attack, but because it has armour 1, armour is deducted by 1 instead of anything else. So that's now got armour 0, so it loses the armour ability. But it actually stops that card becoming broken. So I'd have to hit it again if I wanted it to be broken. It does not stop a card from being broken if it loses in priority. So if we go over this there. Let's say the voice player is something like that, and I've got that. Sorry. So they played a 1 defense card. I've got a 4 value attack card, and then they played a 3 value there. in this we just go priority wise. So we go for the list. None have got Guard Crush, none have got Throw. Oh, it's like one does have Guard Crush, but all that. None has got Guard Crush, none has got Throw. We go doing that. And mine's got a higher tick value, so it actually gains priority over this, so it would before, because this particular attack has both Guard Crush and Unblockable. But it beats it in priority, so even this has armour, it doesn't matter because I'm not actually hitting it to break it. It's not actually taking the attack, it's losing in priority. Armour can only absorb attacks, like damage, if I hit it with a power. With my power rating, which I do not, it just breaks because it loses in priority, and then the damage would travel down. Armour can be both on attacks and defense cards. Throws and Unblockable, which is the next ability I'll go, and Guard Crush are only on attack cards. But finally, we'll go over Unblockable, and that is just as it sounds like. This card goes off and hits anything, it will break anything in its path, so nothing can stop it. So I don't know, this isn't legal, but just an example. Oh, it can be. Say if it's got a card that's got a ability on reveal, pick a number 1 to 5. Its defense's tick value and resistance rating are changed to the number chosen. So let's say Wise player played that and revealed it, chose a number 4, place the card there. I had played Sniped, which is when this card is revealed, pay 1 bullet or break this card. This card cannot be linked into, so I would pay the bullet to stop it being broken, so it can actually do something. And then that will go off. So now my card is clashing with the defense. Usually that's a 4, mine's a 5. The Wise player would have that broken and stuff will 1 overflow. But because my card has Unblockable, then the damage would actually hit that one and keep going. And even if there was other cards there, it doesn't matter. And then it would say if she had an attack there, it would also break the attack. The attack would not absorb it like usual, and the damage would keep going through. So unblockable attacks are potentially very powerful, but they can still lose in priority. So if the Wise player had an attack here that was greater in priority to my attack, then mine could still be broken before the unblockable got to actually do anything. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the abilities. They're one of the more potentially complex aspects of the game, although in actuality it's rare that you will get into a situation where you won't quickly be able to work it out once you've got a gist of the game. So if you want to do extremely in-depth review the rules, 4 abilities, how they activate, when they activate, what would take precedence in certain very rare situations, then it's all in the rule book and you can read that through at your leisure. Okay, so I'm just going to go for a quick recap for the next section and that'll do it.